Hello, everyone, and welcome to the newest episode of the Dead Realms campaign. As you clearly see, we have lost two players, and that is because in this campaign, when a player character dies, the player who played that character leaves the campaign to signify true character death. So we were once six, but now we're down to four since we lost to a bunch of party members in the last session last week. It was a pretty intense session, which you could replay during past broadcasts or during highlights. If you guys are interested in playing the Dead Realms campaign with us, you have to be a member of the Pocket Dimension Discord, which is the main Discord server where you'll contact me about it, along with broadcasting it over at Discord as well. And if you're interested in playing the campaign, just message me on it. You'll see my name on it in the server, and we'll discuss from there. But you will also be a bunch of other great individuals, some other running other D&D campaigns, some running Pathfinder and such. And it's just over a great community for you to check out. So again, if you that is the Pocket Dimension Discord, you can find it underneath the description. Other than that, I also like to thank Lady K Does Art for again this amazing background and the logo. You can find her at Lady K Does Art on Instagram. And without further ado, let's introduce the players. So the Discord player names are different because we lost players. So that we'll start with Aaron. So just introduce yourself, your character, your class.
Aaron. I am playing Bellathor, a war cleric.
All right. Next is Mike.
I'm Mike. I'm playing Rico Tenpenny, Artificer in Distress.
All right. Sirius.
Hi, I'm Sirius. I'm playing Axius, Tiefling Barbarian Fighter.
All right. And finally, Bob.
Hello, I'm Bob. I'm playing Ichabod Iron Eyes, half elf fighter, blacksmith.
All right. And just for the viewer's sake, Sirius will be appearing in and out because he has his kids over there. So if you don't see him on screen, that is why. Without further ado, let's continue where we last left off. So with that being said, let us continue into the Dead Realms. So you guys were exploring a cave in which you assume Beatrice was in. For what reason? You guys don't know. But when you went in there with Banthor, along with Baron and such, you guys discovered a new ally in Bellathor, a war cleric who was just catching some rest. As you guys explore throughout, you realize that there were a bunch of zombies in the cave, and with that, a battle ensued with the living dead. But amongst the ruckus and combat, you realize there were some new foes, some wicked, weird, blue skeletal-like beings that seem to be helping Beatrice as she is revealed to be in the cave, doing with whatever work she was doing. The battle got intense. Spells were cast, swords were swung, and unfortunately, two of your party members died. So, counting your odds, your best bet was to leave the cave, in which you did. However, leaving the corpse of Banthor and your friend Varen to die. At this moment, you guys are leaving the cave in a hurry, rushing to get to Anea along with her compatriots. At this point, Axius, you're still big size for a couple more minutes.
Can I... Actually, just a couple more seconds, because giant size only for 1 minute. But
Right.
would I have enough time to try to... The rocks that are around the cave, do I have enough time to try to barricade the cave in? If that makes sense.
Yeah, you can definitely do that in your giant size. So with the last few seconds of your giant smite, you grab whatever rubble on top of the cave and you just close it. You have a high strength score and you just have advantage, and it's not that hard for you to do, especially in your giant form. And as you pull down these rocks, it basically caves in this entire cave entrance that you just blocked. And at the moment that you take it down, you revert back to your regular size.
Perfect. Somehow Rico's still on my back.
Yep.
I'm just gonna keep on running back towards the Anea and then the two other soldiers. And
Yep.
Bellathor has was it Cyrus, I guess?
Yep.
From what I
Yeah,
remember.
Cyrus, and he's carrying him on his back.
The
Okay.
guy.
Yep.
All right, so I'm gonna look at Cyrus first off and say, hey, where the hell are your fucking horses? Because we gotta go.
He is unconscious.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
he's
is
unconscious.
unconscious, passed
On the
out.
way out of the cave last session.
Yep.
Oh, so we got nothing. So yeah, I'm just gonna take Rico. Ichabod's situation is what?
I'm limping because I got bit in the lower leg.
I'm gonna put Rico down. I'm gonna help Ichabod up so we can start moving at a faster pace towards Anea and the soldiers.
All right. You guys move at a faster pace, leaving the now blocked cave behind. It's not that hard to follow where you last were. Cameo from the kid. But you eventually find Anea and two of the guards. Where
Actually, before we get there, when we're 30 feet out, I'm gonna cast Thaumaturgy to throw my voice at them to tell them all to get ready and get the horses ready. This is my life now.
all right,
That was
you.
quite the noise you just made.
I thought that was the thaumaturgy.
All right. So you say this, and then like you hear noise echoing. We're over here! Come quickly! Echoing out in the forest, and you guys eventually follow that voice, and you see two of the guards seem to be finished hacking away at someone dead. Still right nearby your carriage where you guys basically left them.
Where's Anea?
You hear Anea say, "I'm over here," and she peeks out of the cart. She
Get
then
on the
says,
horse and let's go.
"All right." So you guys gather in the cart, and the two guards that were there are basically riding along with you guys, along with Cyrus's horse, which they are basically dragging with. After some time, Anea is looking at you guys, and she says, "Where's Varen and where's Banther and who's he?" As she points to the dwarf.
You're dead. He's the new Bareth. Let's go.
Yeah.
Anea looks at you, and Anea to you, Aaron. She is basically a 13-year-old girl wearing some makeshift padded armor that seemed to be stitched from a mixture of both padded armor and what seems like to be some old clothes. She is carrying a short sword and a dagger. And she looks like she's seen some things. She's a little dirty, but you get the feeling that she might still have some humanity and innocence within her, even though she's obviously looks grizzled and as any other survivor in the world.
She's merry in age.
Whale. Okay, we're gonna call a timeout there. Anywho, you got
Playing
carrying
the
on.
period part, they were married off at 13.
That is true during the time period.
I know. I just.
Still.
Moving on
During the
now
zombie
from that.
apocalypse, I'm not even thinking
The
like.
worst as a dwarf, I'm about 100 years old, if not a little older. So like
Right.
just left home. And you're
Moving on. One of the
It's such a
guards,
age
which again,
comparison,
one
but
of the
I know,
guards
like,
again
wait.
who is wearing full plate armor onto himself. One of the guards that is on riding the horse along beside you guys, wearing full plate armor and such. He says, "What the hell happened in there in that cave? And what happened to our commander? What exactly happened in there?"
There was more than just Beatrice down there. All this proving yourself crap got two of our men killed.
Well, sorry to hear that.
Bull crap. What intel did you guys have to send us down there to begin with?
Well, we tracked them. All of us together. We tracked it and we followed the footprints that lead into there.
We needed
There
way
was a
more
massive
people.
horde.
We needed way more people than.
Look, I was just following my commander's orders. And like he looks at his commander, seeing that he's unconscious, and he says, "Between you and me, though," and at this point he whispers to you guys, "Between you and me, I don't think it was a right idea either to begin with. I think
No,
all
no,
of us should have gotten in there.
Stop and rewind for a second. What item did he think was so important to go into a cave with just adventurers?
Well, firstly, the magic items that she stole from us, mainly the Boots of Flying, a amulet worn by Sir Isteval himself, along with his master spellbook. And he was
Those
mainly
all
obsessed
sound
about the spellbook.
replaceable.
Not anymore. It's very hard to find these such items nowadays, and
Yeah. Upon
well, they
hearing the
make you live a
spellbook
lot
part, I
more
just
longer.
put my face in my palm and just oh fuck.
You know what's
Look.
even harder to replace are the two friends of ours that died in that cave. It's much harder to
Those
find.
You are correct. And again, if things were different, maybe that wouldn't have happened. But we gotta leave what's behind. We gotta get back to town, and
Do you
let's try
know?
to at least
Do
get you
you
restocked. At least.
do you know if there's another entrance to that cave? Because I blocked the entrance we came out of.
I do not know. I'm not locally from here. I'm mainly from south from Cormier. I barely travel the Dales. Hey, and he looks at the other guy. Do you know anything about that cave around the Dales? No, I can't say. Maybe Soren knows. Who knows? And he looks at the group. He says, "Well, we got we got a wizard over there. He seems a bit, compulsive, but he might know more about the area."
What clerical magic do you have back in town?
Well, we have our cleric, Adia. She recently came back from a mission we sent out with her and her crew. So maybe she could help you with your situation.
Is he got bit in the other leg too. Do you know if she has any power to fix these wounds?
He looks at the wounds. He says, "Nothing to replace the leg, unfortunately, but maybe there's something that we could do about the bites if we get there in time."
And since I've been to what town was we in? Tiverton?
This was about 2 years ago, basically, since the last time you were in Tilverton.
Yeah, but at least I know where it's at.
Yeah, you know where it's at.
Do I think we have enough time to get there?
Yeah, if you speed it up a bit, yeah.
All right. Do we have the captain's horse with us? Is it
Yes.
running with us?
Yes.
Axe, do you want to jump on the horse or should I? Try to make the wagon lighter.
Do you want to both do an animal handling check and see who would be better off?
I got a +2 in animal
I got a
animal
-1.
handling.
I got a -1. Yeah, let's see you, buddy.
Is the horse running with us?
The horse is being dragged along with the reins by one of the other fellow, basically, cavaliers. So
I have him stop, I mount up the horse, and we take off. That way, the wagon's a little bit lighter with the captain and the other
okay.
players riding in it.
Okay. So, unlike the horses that you experienced before, this is clearly a trained horse, and it is not that much of, it's not friendly, if that makes sense. It's not like Buttercup carrying the carriage, but it's more of a trained horse and it's used to it. With the assistance of the guard, very easy to do. It's not that difficult. So you ride on the horse. You guys make your way there. It's going to take you basically half the day to get there, so this would be considered a short rest. So if you want to use hit dice, you can. If you want to use abilities to recover, you can definitely do so as well. While you're doing that, you have some time to talk or whatnot. You guys wish to do that?
I'm gonna try to comfort Anea as best I can.
Okay, you do so. She's like, "What exactly happened in there? I know Axios was talking about, what he thinks is in there, but what actually happened in there?"
There was a flood of them, some kind of shadow creatures that Cast some
Shadow
pretty high-level
creatures.
spells.
That sounds very dangerous.
Yeah, it was a bad time. And Rico doesn't have the crackle in his voice anymore. It sounds like
Right.
he's not as nervous about whatever he was as nervous about before.
Right. Seeing this, you try to comfort her, and she reciprocates that, as seeing that you are more in distress and discomfort than her.
Just glad you're okay.
And I'm glad you're okay too, Rico. I want you at this point, Rico, to make a perception check, Rico.
Ooh. That's an 8.
Okay. For a moment, you think you hear something in your ear. A voice that you don't recognize, but because of your low perception check, you can't really be certain of what that voice in your ear was. It was like as if someone or something was trying to whisper in your ear, but you aren't too sure what it is. What you do know is that it's not coming from Naya or from anyone inside the cart. It is very different and very weird, but you can't quite hear what it says.
Yeah, kind of look around. That was weird.
What?
Just, I thought I heard something. It's nothing.
Oh, well, okay. The rest of the players have time to talk in between one another, if they so desire to.
I'm just gonna glare at Bellathor the entire time, and then after a second, it's like, so besides being a war cleric, there's anything else you can do?
For the dead or for the living?
Like, sort of motion over to Ichabod. It's like the only people that matter right now.
Unfortunately,
I'm
due to
just
what I
trying to
was
stay on the horse.
Okay.
Unfortunately, due to what I was trained in, I don't have any healing spells. Best I could do is not even that would work. Wouldn't do anything to relieve his issue anyhow.
Your god can't do anything.
I wouldn't go that far, but not for a situation as such. No.
Do you know anything about what Banther was talking about? Some sort of mission?
I believe so. From what I can recall of Banthor and his god, they desire balance. This, the dead walking in such large numbers, can be nowhere near balanced. Especially considering the horde we saw inside that tunnel. So knowing him, his god most likely gave him the mission to find the source and destroy it.
You know, that's easier said than done at this fucking point, you know? This is...
Never claimed it would be easy. You asked me what Banthor meant. That is what I believe he meant.
And I'm telling you that any god asking one person in this apocalypse that's been for 2 years is too much, don't you think?
When did I ever say I said it would be easy or that I was behind this plan?
This is beyond not easy. This isn't possible.
I'm not the one issuing quests like a god. You asked me what he meant and I told you. Whether or not it is fair is irrelevant. I told you what it meant. That gives you no reason to take it out on me. He wasn't just your friend, you know. I've known him for more lifetimes than you possibly could. So this is not easy for me either. Especially knowing why and how he died. I may be new, but that does not mean that I have not known him as long as you have. Nor does it mean that I can simply ignore this offense to myself and Banthor. So if you would kindly take your suspicion and aggression elsewhere, it would be more than appreciated.
Oh, I fucking plan to. But you still have things to answer for.
Like what?
Your lack of use in these sort of situations. How the hell did you survive on your own for 2 goddamn years?
You really want to know? Simple. I am not born with my powers. I must earn them every time I come around. So I go off and learn. Return to my home, burn to the ground, cinders everywhere, not a body to be found. And what do you think came through the very next day? The entire town turned, meandering around mindlessly. Do you think I enjoyed watching that? Watching the people I'd grown to know shamble about aimlessly, wanting to kill me if they saw me? Just because I survived does not mean I did so without hardship or without pain. 2 years, yes. Never once was it easy, and never once did I have to do something that I thought was easy. Living day to day, scavenging, hunting, learning new skills from scratch, trying to keep just myself alive was more than a task. I may be a cleric, but I cannot work miracles. Not even a god can work a miracle in these circumstances, and you damn well know it.
I don't know it. My god is a god of competition. I've been fighting since I was born. I got free 2 years ago into this. I don't know where we are. I'm literally from Thay to here. Don't know. But to survive.
And what makes you think I know any more than you do?
You know where we're going. You know what the mission is. You know where to go. The only thing I have is a mining town out west. West of Thay is anywhere between here to God knows where. I am lost in this freaking new land.
Pretty simple for you, isn't it? A new land. That's all it is. It's a new world to me, kid.
As this
I hit his
argument,
fucking face. Don't you dare call me a goddamn kid.
punch. Do you take the punch there? Do you take this punch, Bellathor?
No, I put my pike to his face.
Oh,
I didn't
you
hit
pike
him.
to his face. Oh,
Yeah, my
okay.
pike,
I thought you
sorry.
said punch him in his face.
As things get heated, Rico's gonna blast the party with a cloud of healing, whatever it is, just to obscure the view for a second.
Okay. Okay.
Just
So-
like the world's weakest fog machine. It's just like poof.
Okay. So. All right. So as this intense argument is going on between Bellathor and Axius, all of a sudden, this green fog cloud just appears randomly inside the carts. You both look at Rico like,
And you get 8 temporary hit points. Stop.
An 8.
Stop fighting. It's us versus the undead. That's it.
How many of us are there? 4 against how
Fewer.
many? Thousands.
Fewer today than yesterday, but look at Anea. We have to do what we can for her. And it's possible that Anthor was given this task not because he could accomplish it, but because he could inspire us to accomplish it. We have to try.
What I have to do is find my wife. And then I just literally just begrudgingly cross my arms and take my short rest.
all right. Ichabod, you hear this entire intense argument going on about you're riding on Cyrus's horse. At this point, the argument's over. Do you do anything in this, or do you just keep it to yourself?
I'm probably move out front since I know where I'm going.
Right. But you hear this. This is clearly them yelling
Yeah.
at each other. And all of a sudden, this green smoke coming out from the cart.
Hotbox net.
I'm letting it out because it's better to let it out than let it fester. They have to have this argument, let it be now than down the road in the middle of another fight.
Okay, that's fair. After a couple of hours, you guys soon approach the town of Tilverton. Let me show you a picture in the Dead Realms text chat. Un momento, por favor. Here. Click. Okay. So, Ichabod. You're more local to this area in comparison to everyone else. Tilverton used to look like this big circular town that serves as a crossroads in between these roads with towns, and this town was, before the Zombie Apocalypse, rebuilding itself to where, after the Cataclysm, way back when a floating castle legit ripped a tear in space and demolished most of the town, this town was growing more and more as far as basic, it was restarting itself, and you thought that it was a perfect opportunity to expand on your trade. You come to the hill that you used to gaze upon this site, and it is significantly different. More specifically, the town is basically, well, whatever active remains part of town, is reduced to this size. That's the only size that seems to be inhabitable. As you see, the rest is basically demolished, up in flames, and around this particular set, which in comparison to the picture, to the bigger picture, is the upper right corner that seems to be walled off and very heavily guarded, as the rest of the town seems to be basically dilapidated and broken down. It seems like this is the only thing standing between Tilverton. You guys eventually go downhill, in which you get to big wooden gates that basically are way, way tall, more specifically 50 feet tall. You can see that the nearest forestry has been cut down to reinforce this, so you guys assume that these forestries are meant to keep the dead out, and it seems to be doing a good job of that. As you guys approach Ichabod, you see all of a sudden an arrow just lands right next to your horse, and you just hear the two commanders behind. The two cavalry say, "Hey, we're just on our way back. God damn it, Shmi! We tell you not to shoot first. You ask questions first." You see him yelling further up into this makeshift watchtower, and you just hear a weird sound coming from. "Oh, Shmi, sorry. Shmi, sorry. We thought you were not visitors." "Well, we got some fellow survivors up at the gate." Okay. You just hear this muffled, weird voice. And eventually this wooden gate just opens like open up, and you see, commoners push forward, and you see other remaining basic guarding say, come in before it gets dark. And eventually you guys go into Tilverton.
While passing under the gate, I'll turn to one of the guards riding with us. I go, take us to the cleric, straight to the cleric.
Oh yeah, we were gonna
through.
Yep. So they'll take you and Cyrus along with them, and they're like, well, for the rest of you, while we try to get your friend healed up and Cyrus healed up as well, I would suggest try to get to know each other better. I know Sir Istival and, referring to my notes, one moment please. I know Sir Istival, along with Sir Kenton, would most likely allow you to stay for the night. As far as the next day or whatever you want to do, that is up to them at that point. So, you should probably rest. Try to make some new friends. It's probably been a while since you guys done that, so it's good to have people to talk to, rather than worrying about, you'll be fed, you'll be sheltered. As for tomorrow, we'll see what happens. But we'll try to get your friend healed up. Come, let's go. As he
I was
gestures to
promised
you.
to look at your armory.
Yes, our armory is further down. He points you to the direction of the armory.
I start
You can
heading
speak
off.
to one of the blacksmiths there.
I start heading off straight there.
All right. You head off to the
Yeah,
blacksmith.
Ultra Win.
Okay. Ichabod,
I'm
you head
bringing
off
Anea with
to-
me. Sorry.
Okay, sure. Ichabod, you are basically being escorted by the guard to the cleric. Bellathor, what would you like to do?
Question is, what is the halfling doing? I can't remember his name. Rico, right?
Rico? He's going to the blacksmith with
Oh, he's going with
Axios.
them? Okay.
Yep.
If there's a tavern around, he's going to go find a tavern and start drinking his misery away.
Okay. Unfortunately, if there was a tavern, you would know this by sight. But unfortunately, there's just a makeshift feeding area that you go to. You go there and you see some old woman making up serving up what seems like to be some stew. And there's a small line that forms each with the bowl having a line. And you see one of the common folks says, "Oh," looks down, doesn't realize you're a dwarf. Says, "Sorry, would you like some stew?"
I'm full for now, thank you, though. Do you have any alcohol?
Well, and he kind of looks.
We
He
did
looks
brew
at-
some Stella.
He didn't
Artois,
know that.
Remember? Oh,
He
yeah.
didn't know that.
That's true.
He says, I think we got some ale left. Let me just check." He goes back. 2 minutes later, he comes back. He's like, "Well, I have enough for 1 cup, but I gotta save it for the rest. I'm sorry. I know you dwarves like to drink a lot, but we gotta save for the rest." And he hands you his mug of ale. Hands you a mug of ale.
Understand. Thank you very much. I've just lost a dear friend, and I feel at least 1 mug in his honor is at least the very least.
Oh yeah. In that case, I would savor every last taste of that ale. In that case, I know what it's like to lose a friend.
Ooh, Rico's about to open a tavern. Get paid.
All right. Meanwhile, back at the blacksmith shop, you hear a bunch of clanging and bang, and you just hear sounds of exhaustion coming from this makeshift blacksmith shop, which is just really a small hut with a big furnace in it. And you see, I'm gonna post a picture here. Let me show you what the blacksmith looks like. So this blacksmith, he's wearing, of course, blacksmith attire, but you could see that he's just covered from head to toe, just black ash from working at the forge. But you do see around him a bunch of armor and a bunch of weapons. Some polearms, some long swords, and short swords make up a bulk of it. And as far as armor, it's mainly breastplate, along with some simple armor as well. Let me show you what he looks like. And he looks like this. And this face goes, ugh. He is a human male. He looks like this. He has hair that goes just past his ears, but not past his neck. He has a beard and a goatee, sideburns kind of mashed together. He's wearing common clothes underneath the black attire, but again, it's mainly blackened. His hands are black, and you can see that he has overall straps, which at this point he has pulled down. And he says, "Oh, another long day. Oh, you guys seem well? Who are you? I'm assuming you just came from the gates." As he looks at you, Axios. And at this point, he looks at us like, "I see you got a little one over there. Not a lot of kids come by."
I know.
So-
We're trying to keep her as alive as possible.
Oh,
First
that too.
of all, are you tired? Do you need to switch? Do you need me to start doing some of this for you?
Well, do you know how to work the smith?
Actually,
how to work
since I
the
became a
forge?
rune knight, I do. It's instinctually because I'm a rune knight.
Well,
I'm saying that
if
out of
you
character.
are sure. But he continues saying, "Well, do you know how to work the forge? Do you know how
I
to craft
nod.
this armor?" And he gestures to the breastplate, which actually looks really well done. He says, "And can you craft weapons out of scrap?" And he points to the weapons, like a long sword, short swords, polearms. You specifically see a couple of halberds are made, along with some other pikes, more better quality pikes in comparison to the one you have. Other than that, he says, "Well, if you could work a forge, I could usually take 2-3 days off."
Can I inspect the halberd first and see if it's a better one than my pike, and then before I go to the pikes?
He turns around, grabs the halberd, and just tosses it to you. You catch it. It seems it's you it has the weight of a standard halberd. However, you see that a lot of care has been made into this weapon to make it a little bit. You get the feeling it might be a little bit more sharper, but you're not too sure unless you use it.
How much for this one?
Well, gold is not a commodity. It's not a use of payments nowadays.
I am literally offering to give you 3 days off and take your place in this forge. What is your price for this halberd?
You know what? That seems a bit fair. But at this point he takes the halberd, right? But if you want this, you got to earn your salt, laddie. So
That's fine.
work on this forge for 3 days. Let me catch my breath, help me relax bits, and this halberd's yours.
I just have to laugh. Sorry, out of game that everyone in the party except for Anea is a blacksmith. We're like just this party of blacksmiths walking
my
in.
God.
Well, I
I
wasn't until I became a rune knight. Like, that's just one of the things
Exactly.
I become proficient in.
Dude,
Yeah.
we can open up a mobile forge, just roll from settlement to settlement, making weapons and armor.
Sorry, I just had to bring that up. I was like,
So yeah, as I nod to him, I'm gonna turn to Ane and said, "You are gonna help me over the next 2 or 3 days, and then one of these bigger weapons are gonna be yours, and then finally, you may be able to fight with us."
Okay. And then the blacksmith looks down at Eureka and says, well, it seems like you know how to build too. Because he looks down at Eureka.
oh, yeah. I do more tinkering than anything else.
Well, he looks at Axios. He's going to make an insight check on you. He's going to make an insight check to see how confident he thinks you are in building weapons and stuff.
What do I gotta roll for that?
I have to roll for that. So I'm rolling for him.
Blacksmith is inciting on Rico.
He's inciting on Rico's. He's like, maybe some tinkering could help out. And I think your friend, he claims to have work, but I haven't seen him have blacksmith hands. You, on the other hand, no pun intended, seems like you know what you're doing. And I think they
Just
need guidance.
pull out this tiny cannon. Like, yeah.
Yeah. So, I know eventually you're going to ask, what do you want from me in exchange to helping them out?
I left my crossbow back in the last encounter we had. I'd be
He stops
looking
you?
for a new crossbow.
He says that's easily replaceable, laddie. I'll even throw in a couple bolts in for you.
Oh.
I only
Thanks.
realized what Rico did. I get down on one knee and I grab both of his shoulders, like, "Tell me you killed the bitch. Tell me you killed her. Tell me she's dead."
She was gone by the time I got there. I did
By
my
the way,
best.
do you guys got names, laddies?
My name is Axios.
Rico. And some breastplate armor would be nice too.
Well, we'll see how much of a good of a job in order to earn those breastplates. And obviously, this is Anaya, as you guys said previous. My name is Kethlock, but you could call me Keth for short. If you need me, I'm gonna be resting for the next couple days. And at this point, he's like, and I'll let Sir Istaval and Sir Kenta know that you're working in my place. So, don't screw anything up. And he walks away.
As he leaves, I'm just gonna take his apron. How much more time before like nightfall do we have?
You got about 2 hours left before nightfall.
I'm gonna spend those 2 hours just working on whatever he was working on, with Anea helping me.
You could see that he was working on a basic short sword. So, are you proficient in smith tools? I'm assuming you are because you're a rune knight, correct?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I'm just proficient in disguise kits too. I need one. Okay.
Oh, well, look at that.
A tiefling
Rico.
disguising as a human.
Rico, are you proficient in smith's tools?
You know it.
All right. So, both of you make constitution checks, adding your proficiency bonus. And Nea will just roll d20 for assistance. So, both of you make constitution checks.
Saving throws or just straight?
Just regular
Con-
checks.
So
roll it.
Before with my proficiency, that's a 24.
24, and then
14.
14. Yeah. And they rolled a 1. She's not quite skilled in blacksmith as you guys. She's just kind of like standing there and occasionally help out while you two do work. You both make a good short sword. You make a basic short sword. Good job, guys.
I'm like thwacking her hands with my tail as she's doing the wrong thing.
All right.
Hold the flashlight.
All right. We go back to Ichabod. We go to, well, whatever remains of whatever this church is. There's no clear indication of what kind of church it is because it's that dilapidated. There's some overgrown covering half of it, and the other half is exposed. Other than that, you see the two guards. She says, "Come, Adia's right this way." And then they eventually led you to Adia, who is working on sick. You see that there's a couple people who are sick, probably from some fevers of sort, just by just looking at them. And then you see Adia coming out of the room. You see that Adia is a human. She is a cleric. If she had robes, it would have been white robes with gold lining, but it's not because unfortunately it's so discolored that it's more like a grayish color, and whatever gold remains is just barely visible unless you really shine against it. But you notice that she used to carry she has a sword around her waist, but you realize that she only has one hand. And she said, as she comes to you, says, "So what happened? What's going on?"
We were in a fight with some undead. Both me and Cyrus here or commander here, a bit. Do you have anything to stop the bite or the infection that's in us?
Well, let me see what scrolls I have. Bring Cyrus over to the room over there. He seems to be losing a lot of blood. We gotta hurry. Worst comes to worst, if he turns, we gotta put him out of his misery. And the two guards quickly rush to a separate room in the church. She says,
"Do I follow
him?" She then says to you, Ichabod, she says, "Just sit over there." She points to a nearby bench area. She sits right there. I just gotta check how much scrolls I have. Just give me a moment. I'll be right back. And she goes away. After 5-10 minutes or so, you feel the infection is slowly coursing through your body from your wound. You realize that in comparison to Aenea's mother, when she fell unconscious, you saw that the vein... Oh wait, you weren't there. You were distracted as zombies. Never mind. But you do get a sense that you look at the bite, you see that the black veins coming from the bite is slowly creeping up. You seem like you're fading in and out of consciousness, but for a second, as you fade out of consciousness, you see the veins quickly going further and further. Make a medicine check for me at this point. See if you can fully better understand whatever's going on with you.
Medicine check. Oh, there it is.
Medicine.
7.
That's the only information. It seems like when you fall out of conscious, the veins start to grow further and further into the body. At this point, Adia comes back. She says, "Well, you're in luck, because I only had 2 scrolls left of the Greater Restoration spell. I used one on Cyrus because, he's one of the key figures here. And it seems like you get the last one." At this point, she unfurls the scroll with her one hand. And then she says the incantation, and as she's saying this, she's using whatever remnants of her other arm to do the incantation. As it does, you see the incantation slowly form, and she says, "By the word of Lathander, please grant this man an extended life before this occurred." And at this point, the scroll burns in her hand. A bright light brightens in her hand, and as she does, she presses your hand on the wound. It burns like hell. You feel like something bad is coming out of you, and it's just right there. But after those few seconds, you see that this bite wound that was once there, and these black veins that were once there, slowly reciprocate into where the wound once was. And as it does, the wound goes away. You feel this sickness that was once taking over you left, but you feel a little bit exhausted. At this point, you gain 1 level of exhaustion from it.
Okay.
And she says, "Well, it looks like you're in luck, because that's my last Greater Restoration scroll." And unless you can find more, I think I can't prevent anyone from getting infected from this point forward.
I'll go look for some more. I thank you very much. How'd you lose your hand?
Well, about 3 days ago, me, Shmi, and Lero, we were sent on a mission to see whether we could find a ship further down south from Cormyr. We unfortunately lost our Black Dragonborn friend there, but we've discovered that on one of the ships that seemed to be in good use, some group wearing some robes, I think there was some kind of cultist, were on the ship performing some magic, but when we got onto the ship, they realized that we were there. Whatever they were playing, we did not know, but we did battle. In that battle, unfortunately, our Dragonborn friend got hit with some kind of spell that basically turned him nothing more than a husk of what he once was. Unfortunately, we couldn't see most of the ship because Lero, our pyromage, burned down the ship. But we came back, one less friend, but we proved ourselves to whatever remains of Cormyr and Sir Istafel, and luckily enough, we got our entry, and I've been serving the work of Lathander Sons.
Okay. Well, I have a small friend who's an artificer. Would you like to see if he can build you another hand?
She gives a long think, and she says, as much as I would want, I don't think for everyone else it wouldn't feel right. I want them to feel more comfortable, and even though this, and she gestures to her stump, she says, even though I have bad memories of this, I think it brings a slight comfort to those who were once infected and those who also lost limbs. More specifically, I think this would help Cyrus a little bit more if I show up relating to what he has gone through.
Can I check on Cyrus before I leave?
You can, but he is currently asleep. Luckily, he is not affected, but unfortunately he won't ever walk again unless your artificer friend can help with that.
Well, that's what I do. I go in to look at the stump. Like, was he bit above the knee and he only has a thigh, or does he have part of a calf still?
So you go to Cyrus. He's laying down, resting. There's obviously sheets covering where his legs once was. You take a look at it. I need you to make a medicine check.
Oh, you know I'm bad at that. 21.
Hey, look at that. So, gesturing from his injuries, luckily he was only bitten from the knee down. So, you get a sense that maybe with your blacksmith mind and maybe with Rico's assistance, maybe there is a way to give him some kind of prosthetic limb of some sort. But luckily he was wearing plate armor, so the damage is not too crazy. But he would require it, and you think you and Rico could probably build him one.
Alright. I pull out this notepad I have and a charcoal pencil or whatever and do some sketches I think might work.
Okay.
And I step outside and ask, are the two other guards with us?
They are right. He is right next to Cyrus.
And what about the other one? I thought there was two of them.
Yep, both of them are next to Cyrus.
Okay. I grab one of them and say, point me towards the blacksmith.
Yeah, sure. Right this way. Go towards the blacksmith. When you get past the entrance, you realize that who the Shmi figure really is. You kind of look, and you think, wait, is that a halfling? And then you just, like, rub your eyes, and you kind of look closer, and you're like, wait. That's a goblin. That's a goblin wearing some weird ranger gear. And he seems to be carrying a longbow that is way bigger than him. But judging from the shot he made earlier to you, you could probably tell he's a good shot.
Okay.
He kind of looks at you like, and then goes back to watch. At this
Do
point,
the eye thing.
yep.
Watch
At this
you.
point, you see. He goes. At this point, you see Axius and Rico working on the forge with Anea standing by. This is weird. To you,
I walk
anyway.
up. What the hell you guys doing?
Working. I got a bandana around my head with the freaking overalls and everything.
Are you sure you know what you're doing? As I'm trying to fumble through my pack and pull out my.
You're not the only blacksmith in the party. Get over yourself. Your
Literally,
specialty is
we're
no
all
longer
blacksmiths.
special. You are
Yeah,
one
yeah.
of us. You are just a normal person now.
It's
It's
a
a cult
hammer
of
off.
blacksmiths. It's a blacksmithing cult. If you can't blacksmith, get out.
So 4 blacksmiths walk into a town, and
I call Rico over and I show him the sketching that I did for the leg.
All right.
The
You
command.
see these sketches of prosthetic legs, Rico.
I'd probably be better at that than I am at this. So yeah.
Well, let's see
Sort
what
of
we can
wave
do.
Rico off of my tail. Go ahead, leave. Leave us.
At this point, Keth comes back, eating some stew. He's like, "Oh hey, what's go?" He drops his stew and he's like, "Son of a bitch, Ichabod, is that you?" And
Of course
Ichabod,
it's
you
me.
see, you son of a bitch. He runs
Daddy.
up to you, gives you a big hug. He gives you a big pat in the back. He's like, "Oh, I can't believe you're alive. Oh my god, I thought we lost you there. God damn."
Is any of the other family here?
Unfortunately not. I was the only one that made it back. When we got back to Dale, most of Dale was already destroyed. So we tried to make our way back, but unfortunately there was a group of those things over there, and me and Angeline, we kind of got split up. Wherever she went, I don't know, but I ended up here. And luckily this town needed a blacksmith, so I was at service.
Alright.
But man, it's good to see you. It's good to see you, boss man. And he gives you like another big hug and pat in the back.
I'm here for now.
So-
And I tell him about the commander losing his leg,
Tell
and that me and Rico might have to use the smithy to make another leg, artificial leg. And I show him the blueprint or the.
he looks
drawings,
at blueprints. He's like, Looks at you, Rico. Then he looks back. He's like, "Oh yeah, with you're my boss and Rico, that halfling Rico over there. I think you can make something work. Hell, I think with some certain materials, I think you could make it better."
Rico's just looking at the spilled stew like, oh.
He's like, "Well,
Oh,
me, yeah.
do you have any replacement daggers?
Oh, for you, boss. Sure." He goes to
He
the pile.
stamped the daggers with the family crest.
"Oh yeah, I still got those." And he gives you the daggers with the family crest.
All right.
You have +1 dagger with your crest on it.
Oh, +1 dagger.
Yep.
Holy crap.
He's like, "Well, boss, I would like to catch up, but I think we could do this tomorrow, yeah?"
Yeah, you go rest. We'll probably get something to eat and then come by tomorrow and see what we can do and stuff.
Yeah.
We still have another friend out there.
Well, he looks down at his already spilled stew. At this point, he kind of grabs whatever bowls remain. There's still like a little bit, and there's like, "Well, that was one waste of a meal, but it was all worth it." He gives you a big pat on the back. He's like, "I'll see you tomorrow, boss. Maybe we could stew up one of your creations you haven't done yet." As he says
No
this
one's
outlandish.
looking. I'll pull out one of my food rations. You know, the dried beef jerky. There you go.
Rico's trying to
Thanks,
break
Bob.
his gaze from the spilled stew. And he just looks up and goes, "Oh, where's your workshop that I could start working on this kind of stuff?" Is it
Oh,
just
it's right
here,
behind the
or-"
back with all the scrap is. Rico.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's all start tomorrow. I'm healed up. Let's go find a place to rest because I'm really tired too. Sure, there's some place to get drinks and food. Axes, you and the girl coming with us?
We're gonna be here for a couple days.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
You
work.
have to. You got to work 3 days, so let's rest and start in the morning. We all have projects to do.
I'm gonna work through the night. I'm gonna take one level of exhaustion. I'm gonna take a rest on the second night. I'm working through the night on this. On all as
Okay.
many weapons, as much as armor as I can.
Okay, so just make one Constitution check, adding a proficiency bonus. Rico, you say you're gonna go get some grub or no?
Well, yeah, but just realizing how much help this town needs, I'm gonna go back to the cart, get all the liquor that I made, and then deliver it to whatever kind of kitchen they have as a donation. Like,
I rolled an 18 with my
For the dwarf gets
proficiency.
drink. I see how it is.
Okay. Let me roll for Anea to see.
No,
How
Naya
well
goes
we're-
bed. I'm the one working through the night.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Sure.
Before I leave, I make sure that Axios has my measurements. Like, just
All right.
you know,
Measurements for
size.
what? Just
Armor.
All right. So, Rico. So, Bellathor, you're on whatever remains of your cup of ale. And you're like, damn, this is like a last bit of ale, and you can't quite remember the time you got drunk, but you're not. You're just 100% sober. As dwarves need a lot of liquor to get very drunk. All of a sudden, out comes Rico with a big barrel full of ale.
I point to
And
the
everyone
dwarf.
looks
Not
at
for
you,
you.
Everyone's staring at you, Rico. And one of the kitchen is all of a sudden this old woman comes out from the back, and she is basically a grandmother of sorts. And you see that she's carrying a ladle, and she says, "Oh, who's the halfling that? Ooh, what do you have there, little halfling?" You can see that she's quite old, and she's like basically hunched over, and she's carrying this ladle, and is like just wearing like old kitchen garbs, basically. As she asks you this question.
Name's Rico. This is some strong ale I brewed up recently. It's all yours.
swell. Oh, well, quite thank you, Rico. Here, she gets like a big bowl. For us humans, it's like a big above average bowl. For Rico, it's like a big bowl. She gives you like, she goes into the stew, and then she goes, oh wait. She then grabs like some extra like carrots and meats, and other she puts up there.
Butter carrots.
Sure. She gets her, here you go, and she hands you this big, for you, this big bowl. For humans, it's just a above average bowl. She's like, here you go. For the ale you gave. Come, sit down. Look, Rico brought some ale. And then she's like saying this. There's gonna be extra ale. We can actually drink some. And then this one goes, all right, Nancy. All right, just go back into the kitchen, and we'll take care of the elephant. She's like, oh, all right. And she goes, like, waddling back to the kitchen. And at this point, a little bit more people grab some ale. Bellathor, you just realized Rico made some ale, and you probably didn't know about it.
Yeah. None
like
for
to
the dwarf. He could drink that all himself.
Everyone's getting some ale. Everyone's getting a little tipsy, but that's all that they can really muster up. But you guys spent the night. So how many days would you like to spend in Tilverton?
Axios
5
has to
to
be
try
there
to
for
get
what?
everything
3
fixed.
4 days?
Like 4, 5, 6 days?
Depends on what we could get out of it, I guess.
Well, what do you guys want to do while in your town? Because I will tell you right now, they'll let you stay for the night. But you basically have to work, basically, whatever days you're here. And I'm not going to say this in character, I'll just say this. In Tilverton, the way that it's structured is that you basically have to work in order to gain shelter and protection and such. You guys are already basically spending 3 to 4 days just working on projects. So you could definitely do that to help bolster up the defenses and stuff. But that's obviously going to require ability checks and Constitution saving throws because Keth is taking those days off for sure. Other than that, they got no problems with food and whatnot. And in this town, I'll let you know what else is there other than what you already know. Obviously, there's an area for the clerics where Adia is held at. Obviously, Keth and his smith shop. There is also, amongst whatever remnants of the town, it seems like to be a greenhouse that links to like a separate part of the colony that leads into like a small farm. You can see that there's like farms slowly starting to grow, so there's also assistance in there. There's also like what seems to be remnants of an old library or an old store. You can't quite tell, but you could tell there's probably whatever knowledge stored there. And obviously, from what the guard said earlier, you basically are told that Soren basically works there and try to keep and preserve knowledge and stuff. But other than that, so let me just see if I'm missing anything here. As far as note wise, oh, my paper fell.
Can I say that while I was spending those 3-day minimum working at the blacksmith, I sent Anea to the library to read up as much as she can?
Sure, she easily does that. All right, but I would also like to add to you, and this is a reveal for the audience. Usually, short and long rests are slightly different to alter this campaign, but there's a third rest that has not been done before, and that's what you guys want to do. You can decide to take a full rest. Now, full rest is basically a week's long rest. However, you get full hit points, full spell slots, if anything. You get all your abilities back. It's basically the regular long rest from the D&D games that we all well know. However, it requires 7 days of non-heavy work. Blacksmithing, to me, is not considered heavy work. That's considered downtime. So I would definitely allow that. However, to gain full benefits of this long rest, we must make some checks, and in those checks, we will do so. So I just want to confirm with everyone what you guys will be doing. Obviously, Axius, Ichabod, and Rico, you three are going to be working on projects for the next 3 to 4 days. Bellathor, what are you doing during this time? You're asked to help in whatever ways.
Hunting party. If I can't get a short bow and go out hunting, bring meat
Well-
in for the community.
Well, there's a problem in that. You see, the guards here are running thin, and they don't want to risk their elite warriors to the undead as much unless it's something very, very important. And usually, how it works is that if new survivors come in, and there's occasionally one other group of survivors that come in, they would initially have to prove themselves in order to see whether or not they are worthy of joining. So, as far as hunting parties is concerned, it's very condensed and for a specific situation, and very rarely do the guards do. So, as far as hunting parties, the leaders of the establishment don't think that you are quite worthy of the task, at least not yet, but they see your blacksmithing as more of a worthier trade, basically.
Well,
There's
like
your help.
I volunteered for it just in case, or if they
Right.
need an extra person. But
Right.
mostly I'll probably be working with Rico trying to get that prosthetic working.
All right. And then you'll be
I-
working the smith, basically, Axius.
Yeah, but I don't. At least I don't want to do a full rest. I just want to work those 3 days, get my weapon, get everybody armed up, and get out of here. So, does everybody else want to do a full rest? Is that what I'm getting?
Well, it's up to the party. If you want to stay there for 7 days, we could definitely do so.
I'm
Get
asking
full
the-
hit points and such. But it's
I'm
up to you
asking the
guys as a
party.
group.
We're going to be doing, so I don't know.
How many spells can you get back, or did you use any spells?
I did. I ended up having
Rico,
spiritual weapon, which grabbing my phone. That's not where my character sheet is.
And keep in mind, for a long rest, you basically regain spell slots equal to half of your total spell slots. So as far as spells for you, Belthor, I think you'll be fine because I don't think you use that much spells.
No, I use 2 second-level spells, which is both of my spell slots.
Ah, I see. Okay.
I know, but if we're spending 3 days, you would have got him back in 3 days. I don't
Yeah,
see why we need to
for
spend
sure.
7.
You also have level
Okay.
1 spell slots
Well,
too, so.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
it's
I
good
want
with
to stay
3
long
days.
enough to get the leg ready for the commander. 'Cause this might have to be a place we fall back to. I'd rather leave on good terms and maybe stay extra days making a few more weapons. You know,
It's essentially what I'm going to be doing then, since I'm outvoted.
All right. So what is the final act for the
one
party?
extra
You get
day. Stay 4
Oh,
days.
I abstain.
That extra day.
A 4 days is not a full rest. A full rest is 7 days. Like 4
Yeah, but
and 7 are.
I'm saying.
So
but
how
in
long would the
4 days
prosthetics
we
be?
could probably get everything back, right?
say again.
4 days we could, because I'm down 6 hit points.
Right.
I
You could
figured
get that back in a
working-
day. What?
Yeah. Keep in mind, you can use abilities like Second Wind. So if you want to use the Second Wind during those 4 days, you most certainly can.
Okay.
So you can definitely do stuff like that. So it's up to you guys. At this point, I need whatever the course of the party is doing. So are you guys staying a full week and taking the full rest, or are you just staying for those 3-4 days?
I think 3-4
Let's
days.
just stay 3 days then,
3, 4.
or 4
Okay.
days.
Okay,
Yeah.
Belethor?
Said I could go either way. I'm abstaining from this particular vote because I don't know
Okay.
what our next step is.
All right,
if we have-
so the party stays for 3 days. Obviously your stuff is restored because during that time you should just regain stuff. As far as hit points, you can either use class abilities or spell slots to heal yourself up. If you plan on using hit dice, that is something different. Other than that, Belethor, I just need to know what are you doing for those 3 days to assist with the colony.
working with the other clerics in town to either train some to be war clerics in some capacity, or to learn some of the abilities and help spread the knowledge of the healing abilities of the other clerics.
Okay. So, there's one of 2 ways you can go about it. You can either attempt to possibly learn a low-level healing spell. You would basically learn it, and through the means of clerical work and such like that, basically the role of a cleric mechanically, you have access to all spells. But for flavor-wise, you're a war cleric. You're mainly combat and stuff like that. So, you could possibly learn a scroll of a healing spell, or you could attempt to help train those clerics slash guards, because they would get training from you since you're a war cleric, and make a check. And based on how well or bad you do, you'll either get a benefit boon from your god. That being said, which one would you like? Would you like to learn a low-level healing spell scroll, or would you like to possibly gain a boon from a god? Regardless, checks will be made.
This one affects the whole party, so what do you guys say? Because I can see the merits of both, so I'd like to hear what the party wants or thinks we need.
I think in character I've made my position known. So you take our conversation to do what you want. Just remember, I will remember this.
I feel like one of those Telltale games. Axios will remember this. Never remember this screen. All right, what do you two think then?
Healing spells are cool.
All right, well, I guess my decision is made then, huh?
It's
So-
up to you. All I'm just
go for
saying.
learning
it's
that
your
healing
ca-
The party will remember this.
It's your character, so
Let's go for
You
that
do
healing
what-
spell. Why not?
all right.
More spells
So-
are always good.
Okay, so ready for some checks here?
Oh, sure, why not?
All right, so let me see here. Obviously, this requires some religion. This requires some arcana because it is involving with magic. Okay, So we are going to do 3 checks. Firstly, I need you to make a. We'll do a best 2 out of 3. So if you pass 2, or if you pass all 3, if you pass 2 checks, you'll succeed. But if you pass all 3, you'll get something special. So with that in mind, here we go. All right. So clerics usually have wisdom as their main skill out of the ability scores. So I would like for you to make a wisdom check, which is just a d20 plus your wisdom modifier, to see whether you can fully understand the capabilities of understanding another cleric's work. So with that being said, make a wisdom check.
Alrighty. Oh, what?
That is rough. A 6. That's all right. It's all right. You can possibly still do well. Next, you would need to learn the religion, because you're basically asking God's permissions to pass on knowledge from God to God. So make a religion check. That's rough. All right. See if you could do any better. Now I need you to make an Arcana check to see whatever magic you could muster up.
What was the second roll?
A 9. So a 6, a 9, and a 12. All right. So out of those 3 possibilities, you try to fully understand the life cleric domain towards the war domain, but unfortunately, it seems like your god is not permitting you to do so. He would rather let you fight in battle rather than helping those, because again, your god is more of a fighting type, where the gods here are there. So you tried your best, but it's just not in the cards for you. Next,
Hey, guys.
we get to Axius. You are gonna have possibly suffer multiple exhaustions based on how well you do. So I need you to make 3 Constitution saving throws. So we'll do the first one, and then the DC will increase based on days. So here's the first
20
day.
on day 1.
Nice.
Wait,
Second one.
I did say I was only staying up for one night. I was gonna rest between the second and
Okay.
third night.
So that one night, you're staying up all night, no levels of exhaustion, but like it was like a heavy workload.
That's fine. So
Now,
that was the first check.
Yep. So that was the first check. The second check is gonna be the same DC. So make another con save from a full day's work at the smith.
Oh, 21.
Yep. So now we go for the
Damn.
third day.
My
Actually,
con,
DC's
my
DC
con
is slightly.
Yeah, my con was the highest one I put on for this campaign.
All right. DC is slightly higher now, so make another Constitution saving throw.
19. Dang it.
Yep. So you succeed on all 3 of those days. You're not exhausted. You build a couple short swords, a couple long swords, and even 2 works of plate armor. Keth is actually surprised that you are actually quite good at the forge. But then he thinks, well, you're a tiefling, so the heat conditions probably doesn't harm as you in comparison to him and Ichabod.
Does he
Now
say
we
that
get.
to me, or does he think that?
He thinks that. He doesn't say it
Okay.
outright, but he
Oh,
appreciates the hard work that you're doing.
Okay,
But you
So
know,
you can tell.
you know.
But you know. So, but Keth is a good friend of Ichabod, so I think it is wise not to kill him. So, all right, Rico, Ichabod, you 2 are working on prosthetics. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna also do 3 checks. The checks are basically how good the prosthetics are. And obviously, if you get all 3 checks right, you get something special. But we'll see how well you do. Both of you guys are making checks. So first, I need you both to make intelligence check to see if you can formally come up with the design of the legs. So intelligence check from both of you.
Bad. 9.
Okay, we'll see how Ichabod does. Oof. Yeah. So as far as prosthetics, it's been a while for you, Ichabod, since you make prosthetics. Rico, you've never made prosthetics. But seeing that the designs are crafted by Ichabod, you think you could make some basic ones. Now I need both of you to make. Looking on the skills list. Okay. So to get a better understanding, how are you 2 utilizing the skills, how would you two come up with ways to build some limbs? Obviously, Rico's artificer, so possibly magic could be involved. But out of the skill list, what skill do you guys think best for your character? Think that would work in part of building this?
Arcana and investigation. I think those are like the
Medicine?
hallmark artificer skills.
Mm-hmm. So, Bob, out of the entire skill list for your character, what do you think is the best way for your character to build prosthetic limbs? Keep in mind, it's only at a base level based on your intelligence checks.
I think medicine.
Medicine?
'Cause
Okay,
you gotta foam the socket, and you know, back then they had straps to adjust it. It was like
okay.
two shells to go as the sockets, and then you adjust them to make them tighter or looser. And add the hole and try to carve a foot, or maybe just give him a peg
Okay.
leg.
All right, that's pretty fair. So, Ichabod, I want you to make a medicine check. Rico, you can either make an Arcana or an Investigation check. You decide.
7.
Oof. All right, Rico, you're doing an Arcana check.
Hey,
Nice.
25.
Nice. So, Ichabod, you do measurements on Cyrus's leg, and you do measurements that you think would best fit it. Rico, you know that as an artificer and with whatever scrap and trinkets are left over, you are able to basically craft yourself some, with the help of Ichabod's measurements, you're able to craft some basic prosthetics. It's basic prosthetics, so it's basic ones, but it will do the job. Now I want both of you to make Constitution saving throws to see how much of a strain it has put on you guys.
At a 22.
Rico, you gain a level of exhaustion. You've never quite built prosthetics before, so it takes a lot of energy out of you. Ichabod, it's a build, so you are not as affected. So Rico, you currently have a -2 to all rolls as a level 1 exhaustion, based on the custom table. So, that being said, Enea, after you guys work and after your 3rd days of work, you guys gather together, you share drink, you share food and whatnot. Enea comes back with some knowledge. So you rolled, let's see here. Yeah, she's come back with some knowledge. And she says, and you guys, well, what are you guys talking about after serving your respective long days' work?
First things first, I'm getting my weapon.
Oh yeah, you got a +1 halberd that you can add to your inventory.
And then the pike for Enea. Do I get that one as well? Or
If
the
you
armor
wanna-
for Enea, sorry.
Yeah, what armor? You never clarified, by the way, which armor.
You said there was a breastplate up there. That was the one I was looking
Yes,
at.
breastplate. So like the armor that is available to everyone is breastplate, hide, leather, studded leather, and chain shirt.
Let me get that breastplate.
You have a breastplate in your inventory now.
Heck yeah.
Should I take the chain shirt and get a higher armor class?
You could take the chain shirt.
Should I
you got-
give them my chain shirt? Just,
Like
Yeah,
as like scrap or whatnot.
Yeah.
Sure, Kethelchick is like, all right, seems like it could fit someone. Takes it.
I'm going to give my now unused pike to Enea.
All right. You give her your pike. Yep, she takes it. She's like, oh well. All right, well.
You keep the undead far from you, and then you can fight with us. Make sure they don't get any closer than the tip of this blade.
Okay. It hasn't broken yet, has it? As she sees it's clearly used and a little damage, but it's still working in fine condition. As she is looking at it.
It'll do you as well as it's done me this whole 2 years.
All right, I'll keep them far away. But there's probably something I should tell you. I think the guy in the library, Soren, I think he wants to speak to you. I've been telling him about what we've done through, and I think he might have something for us that he might want to say before we leave.
I'm gonna go with her.
All right, do the rest of you follow?
Sure.
All right,
Sure.
all right. Bellathor, do you follow the group after Anea
Yeah.
says this? All right.
Yes.
You guys get to the library, and we'll find out when we come back from our break. So, we'll be taking a quick 5-10 minute break, and we will see what this Soren fellow has to say. So, we'll be back in just about 5 minutes, guys. So. And we are back at the Dead Realms, where we'll find out what information Adea will tell to the party. So without further ado, with some new music now, let's continue where we left off. Rico, make a perception check at this point.
I always have me roll perception. It's like, yeah, 3. I don't see shit.
That same voice that you heard earlier back at the cart, you've been hearing it the past couple of days. You still can't quite pinpoint where it came from, but for some reason, every time you pass the area of what was once a church, of where the cleric were, every time you hang out with Bellathor and whatnot, you start getting a weird warming sensation throughout your entire body, but you can't quite sure what. But you do know that there's some voice whispering in your ear, but you can't quite figure out what it's saying throughout these past 3 days. And this even further intensifies as you get closer to this makeshift library, basically. Seems a bit odd.
If I take out the Ankh, does that do anything?
Now I need you to make a religion check.
Slightly better at that.
Him on this religion check or no?
No, this is something that he would do on his private time. Oh yeah. So as you pass by like the religion check, the makeshift church, you always get a warm feeling. But then as you get closer and hear this again, they're like, wait a minute, let me look at this Ankh that Panther left. You look at it, it glows for a bit before it slowly dissipates, and you're the only one that's seen it.
I guess I'm gonna try to wait for that voice to come back and then pay attention to it.
You're just gonna stop walking and just like stay in place?
Yeah, if there's time.
Oh yeah, you're walking to the library, so you stop, you hear, make another perception check.
Okay. I'll kind of like do the like back up, walk forward, back up.
All right, make another perception check though. See how well you do.
About as perceptive as a wall.
All right. You hear the voice a little bit more clear, a little bit more ghostly, it sounds like. You just hear the words, "Do you answer the call?" in your ear. The rest of the party, as you guys are kind of looking around, you just see Rico just kind of just standing there, holding something in his hand.
Just kind of walking around the church, like trying to get the best signal from this religious symbol.
Like someone looking for their Wi-Fi.
And I hear it now.
Yeah, but that's what you heard, Rico. The rest of the party, you see this. Rico's acting quite weird.
Banthor? Is that you?
No response.
You say
look
that
at
loud enough for us to hear, or are you kind of whispering that?
I guess a normal inside speaking voice. Anubis? Mr. Anubis?
Mr.
You just hear a in your ear, but nothing more.
Hey, that
Well,
you
now,
don't. That's weird.
now that the halfling has stood in the middle of the street and said Banthor's name, I'm gonna whip
Mr.
around and be
Anubis.
like, what do you mean, Banthor? Wait, what? Who are you talking to?
Yes, I accept the call.
All right. Your body starts to glow and shimmer, and as it does, at this point, Bellathor, you see the holy symbol that he's holding in his hand is the Ankh. More specifically, it's the same Ankh that Banthor left. And as it did, you just see Rico's clothes just change, more cleaner now. And you just hear a voice that says, "Do my work, and you may be a better servant than Banthor."
Rude.
You take a level and grave cleric.
Oh. Did not expect that.
So you accepted the call. You
I
do
did.
so.
I
So
have a
you take
question.
a level engraved cleric.
Do I recognize this ascension as a
Yeah,
cleric
you
condition?
clearly see as a cleric, just in general, that this is some kind of accepting your lord kind of shit. And this he is basically accepting, based on the holy symbol of the symbol that he's holding, Anubis, god of the dead. If you want
Well-
information about him, Bellathor, you could attempt to make a religion check.
Here's the
Oh,
problem.
why
Yes.
My wisdom is absolute dog shit.
Oh well.
So it's not letting me in the game. I have a -1 modifier in wisdom.
It's fine. I can fix that. So.
So I'm just gonna be a really bad cleric.
Oh, yeah. I can
Cool.
change
Cool.
that, no problem. So, that being said, you see this Bellathor. And at this point, Ichabod and Axis, and Nea says, "Wait, what happened to Banthor over there?" She points, and you see like this finished afterglow. And you see that Rico's a little bit more cleaner than he once was.
Enthor. It's Rico.
Rico, sorry. Yeah, you see Rico with clean clothes.
He's changing. We need to take him out.
I
I'm
speak up
cleaner.
I immediately speak up and say he has become a cleric. He has accepted a
That's
god.
what he's changing. We need to know.
He's
Wait,
changed.
wait. Do I see the Ankh in his hand?
That depends, Rico. Do you put it with the Ankh, or do you?
No,
put it
I'd
with
still be kind of looking at it like.
Okay. You see the
fuck
Ankh in
just
his
happened?
hand. You
I'm
see the
gonna
Ankh in his
walk-
hand, clearly.
I'm gonna walk up to him and put my hand out. It's like, can I see that?
The
Yeah.
entire party is
Yeah.
now level 1 Crave Cleric.
All right. You grab the Ankh. What do you do with it?
I just stare at it. I mean, he just became a grave cleric by looking at him, looking at this thing. Like, what the heck just happened? What is this? I've never
Make a
seen
roll.
anything like this.
I think Mr. Anubis called and then asked me if I wanted to do a thing. I didn't really understand. I said yes.
Let's
He's called. He wants his champion back.
I'm gonna hold on to the Yonk, and I'm gonna usher everybody still going to the library, so we don't just waste all the time looking at this thing.
Wait, I need that back.
No, I'm keeping it. You just turned into a grave cleric. This thing is
No.
magic.
No, I need that back.
I just start walking away. I put my hand up in the air to like keep it out of his reach, and I just start walking.
That is just rude.
Rico will remember this.
I'm gonna let you hold on to it, but know that this is my decision. That you're holding on to it.
I'm still walking away.
All
I'm
right.
gonna walk up next to Rico. I'm gonna whisper, "You think you have a cast light in his eyes? You could get it from him."
He'll give it back. I'm letting him look at it.
Do you believe so? I wouldn't trust
All right.
Do I hear that part?
him.
No, you walked away, so
Okay.
they're just having a conversation. So. All right. You guys continue forward to this makeshift library. As you go in, you see that, well, this used to be either one of two things. Either a really old bookshop or half of a library, because that's basically what it is. It's half of a library that's one floor that has about half of its shelves stocked with books. And other than this mage wearing red wizard's clothing sitting down reading a book, you see another mage. Let me post a picture of him. So, this mage is a human. He's 5'6", so he's average height. For a second, you think he might be wearing cleric outfit, but you just realize like, no, this is like some weird wizard's clothing. Where is this dude? Ah, here he is. Click. Here you go. There's his image. He is clearly reading a book. He's like, okay, yeah. He's quite robust, and he's wearing wizard's clothing, and he looks just like, oh, well, greetings. He closes the book, stocks it off himself. It's like, you must be the ones Anea here were talking about. Is that true?
I nod.
Well, come. My name is Soren. Soren the Seeker. And he gives like a light bow. His hat like tips over, looking like it's about to fall, but then he just catches it. He's like, excuse me. Sorry. Come. We must, before you leave, we must speak of a certain matter. Come this way. Lero! You see Lero just look up, looks at you in the party. He's like, keep watch. Let us know if any visitors come up that might come to the room. Come this way. I must speak privately of these matters. Come. And he's like, seems like he's rushing you to some room. And Lero just nods and continues reading his book.
Yep, go
You
to
guys
the room.
Yep, you eventually get into the room. He closes it, he locks it. He's like, okay. Sorry about the precautions there, but we must keep the secrets. Excuse me. You can see like he's like losing his breath. Like, give me a second. Hold on. All right. Well, he clasps his hands. He shakes some in his hands. He's like, all right. So, Nina's told me that you guys have gone on quite a journey. Well, encountering some half-elven woman by the name of Beatrice. Is that correct?
I look at him angrily and just nod.
Well, see, so I just wanted to confirm before I tell you this information here. Oh.
You know where she is, and I grab him.
Please.
You
I don't want to harm. I don't want to harm you. I don't want to harm you. Please. You can see he has You can see at this point he has incantations on his hand. It looks like he's ready to cast some kind of spell on you. He's like, please, I don't want to hurt you. I just want to talk. It's nothing personal. It's nothing at all. It's information that can help you guys. I just want her as dead as you do. But please, put me down. I don't want to hurt you.
Inside check.
Inside check. Yeah.
18.
18. Yeah, he's scared of you, but you know for a fact that he is being truthful with his words, and that you also know he's not afraid to do some spells if this continues on.
I'm going to unclench my fists around him and just pat his robe back down and take a step back.
Where's the Ankh at this point?
I still have it in my backpack.
In your bag. Can I
Yeah.
try to sleight of hand that Ankh?
Sure, make a sleight of hand check, man. See how well or bad you do. Wait, that's Axios's roll.
money.
Okay, I thought that was 18. What's your passive perception, Axios?
9.
9. So, as you're manhandling Soren, nothing happens to you. Rico, you got your Ankh back. Axios doesn't seem to notice.
Pocket that shit.
You pocket that shit. All right. What is Bellathor and Ichabod's passive perceptions at this point?
Say 10.
10? Say again, Bob, you were muted.
14.
14. Yeah. You clearly see Rico took something from Axios' bag, but you don't know what. But you assume it's what you think you might be, but you aren't sure. Everyone else just doesn't notice it. So, not even Nada. Alright. So he's like, alright, so, glad that we finally meet one another now. Listen, that woman, well, she went by another name by the name of Grace over here, but she
Did you take your
stole a bunch of magic. Not my spell book, but the spell book Cyrus got from his master, who taught him the ways of magic while he became an Eldritch Knight. But he took my boot. She took my boots of flying and Sir Isteval's amulets. And she also took some scrolls as well. Which is why I want to talk to you in regards to her. You see, I was doing some investigating while she was here. When I was inquiring what information she was looking for, she mentioned something in regards to this. At this point, he pulls out a book from his robe, and he magically goes through the book, and then he flips the book and shows you a page of what seems like to be 3 scrolls. and 3 skulls, excuse me, all within like a triangle shape, all of which have a different color. One of them being green, one of them being purple, and one of them being red. But you can tell but you know those are the colors because even though there's some discoloration on them, you see that this book has been kept. It says, well, she was looking through this book and she stole some scrolls and regards some information about it. Do you know what these things are?
Oh, but I think they do.
And what do you think they might do then?
Raise the dead of varying types with varying attributes. Because that one there is purple, as were the eyes of the undead we fought in that cave, which
Yes,
were the
but-
ones that were significantly more intelligent.
Yes, my thoughts exactly. See, I'm trying to bring up, possible ways so we could either eradicate the dead or possibly stop the infection. The only thing to stop the infection is either chopping a limb or through a greater restoration spell, but I don't know how many scrolls Adia has left. But what we do know is that as of late, more green-eyed and now these purple-eyed creatures are now seem to change behavior. And I was looking through these books and I realized what she might have done. I think she might be searching for the 3 skulls of the undead kings. If you guys
What's
want,
the red one first and foremost then?
before we continue on, everyone make a history check.
Nice. Dirty 20. When it actually
Nice.
matters. Love it.
Nice.
19.
Nice. Rico.
12.
Okay. Ichabod and Rico. This is the first time you've heard of it. Axios. Through your years in gladiatorial combat, you hear talks about some cultists that were talking amongst themselves, and you overheard them speaking of these stories of these undead kings and skulls. But because you were so focused on fighting and just trying to survive, you paid no attention to it. But you do recognize that this thing does seem familiar to you. You just don't know what. Bellathor, you rolled a dirty 20. And on top of that, you're a cleric. So you gain a little bit more knowledge as a cleric. That's how bad of a class of backstory are, guys. So, with the dirty 20, you do remember what the undead kings are. They were 3 great necromancers, their names lost in history. Basically, what your theory is that this might have been the origin of necromancy. But you do know that, there are stories that and legends that saying that these 3 undead kings with these skulls created basically the first spells of necromancy. But it was just a story, but you don't know what it's true. But faith-wise, it wouldn't be untrue for sure. But it was a story so long ago that you don't even know. Not even the names of these undead kings came up. As far as the nature of what these skulls do, you're half writing your hypothesis, but you're not quite knowledgeable as far as the actual magic of it is concerned. You just know from stories that these 3 undead kings could have possibly created the first forms of necromancy magic, and that these skulls could be the result of it. The nature of the skulls, you do not know what they are.
Just great.
So he says this to you guys. How do you react based on the knowledge that you now know?
And what are the red ones? We're gonna face red-eyed zombies at some point. What are the red ones?
Yes, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. Now, my theory is that someone already has the green orb. And then now clearly someone already has the purple one. And judging from what Adea told me, seems like this Beatrice woman has it. But the red one is what I ask of you. And at this point, he closes the book, puts it in his pocket. He says, I've kept this scroll away from her just in case that she would have tried to pull something from it. You see, what she did is as he pulls out this long scroll, you think it's either a map or something else. He says, this scroll, and he reveals it down on this table, and you see basically the map of the continent. And the map itself is old and tattered, but you see that there's some markings heading towards the west. I was told you guys are going for the west. And now that 2 out of the 3 skulls have been found, I'm afraid of what could happen if a third might be fell into the wrong hands. And judging from my past notes, and this point he's just pulling notes like out from his pocket, throwing them on the table. He's pulling out 2 books all of a sudden, 2 completely different books from his pocket. It's like, and he's he's like having a beautiful mind moment. And as he is just going through notes and books, he says, this, according to this. And at this point, after 5 minutes of this shit, Aneda says, wow, that seems really complicated. And then Soren then says, well, my dear, that's what a wizard does, and I'll see here. Right, alright. So, the location of the skull, and he points to the map based on stories and whatnot, and based on all the counts. Most likely it's going to be in an abandoned temple somewhere among the west. Most likely where one of the dead kings would reside, because legend has it that the stones were separated. One was given to a trusted wizard. One was buried somewhere down south. And a third one was locked in the tomb with one of the undead kings. With, of course, inscriptions upon it so that no further magic could come about it. The tomb is what I ask of you, since you are heading towards that direction anyway. And he looks to the map. Let me look on the map on my end here. One moment, please. And do you guys like to react to any of this while he's saying this? And he's kind of mumbling to himself?
I want to... Who has the map that we grabbed from the shed? Oh shit, does Banthor have the map? Oh fuck.
Oh boy.
Holy fuck. I think he has the map.
That's rough. Alright. So I'm pulling up the map on my end. Okay. So if you look at if you guys have it, the big map, if not I can post it for you if you guys want. He tells me, which direction are you heading? We are here. And he points to the border of Cornmeal and the Darelands. He says, which way west are you going?
I have no clue. This is not my... This isn't... This is beyond what I'm looking for. Holy fucking... I'm looking for a mining town west of Thay, which is any town...
West. Okay. He's like pinpointing it. He's like looking at it closer and closer. He says, well, there are 2 mining ones. Either you could go find it in the desert of Ankarok, which I wouldn't recommend, or you could go to the southwest of the Western Heartlands. Those are the only 2 mining towns close by here anyway that I would know.
But... Do you know which of those lands were owned by the Bastilles?
The Bastilles, and he's like looking through his book. The Bastilles, it's either the northwest of the Heartlands or even on the Sword Coast. Maybe towards Waterdeep, but I don't know. It's among that area where the border is between the Western Heartlands and the Sword Coast. I'm assuming so.
Oh, Waterdeep's better than just me saying west.
Well, anywho, this tomb that I request is going to be up here, and he points to north of the Western Heartlands, around this area that is like in between the High Forest, Ankarok, and the Heartlands. It's like in between all that areas. Is the north. That is where, well, according to the story, otherwise, is where this third skull is. Now, no one knows what the red skull actually does. We do know that the purple one gives some kind of intelligence to these creatures, and the green one kind of makes them, well, the ringleader to make it, to lack of a better term, but the red one, unfortunately, I could not find any scrolls of this sort. I think she might have taken one of them. But whatever she's up to is no good. There's already enough evil in this world, and I don't want it to be plunged into darkness or whatever she's planning. I was wondering, since you guys are heading towards that way, if you could just investigate the area, see if they're true, see if there is this red skull, and if so, keep it out of her reach. There's been already enough death throughout this past 2 years, and I don't think we can survive another apocalypse, especially if someone's behind it.
I'm gonna go in my bag and try to go for the Ankh to see if the Ankh would resonate with any spot on the map.
You look for your Ankh. Your Ankh is gone.
Oh, his Ankh. It's his Ankh
His
now.
Ankh is gone. So you don't know what happened to you. You put it in your bag, and you're looking through it vigorously, but it's not there.
I'm insight checking every single person in this goddamn party.
All right, insight check. You can make a deception check if you want, Rico, but it's up to you.
Fuck yeah.
14.
13. Let's see what Rico did.
Nope.
So, your insight check. Rico is clearly hiding something for the fact. As you think he is the main suspect, you think, yep, that's what he's doing. He's just doing that, and you can tell he's clearly hiding something as he's looking away from the situation.
Rico,
Yeah. So,
can you put the Ankh on the map to see if anything will happen?
since you asked so nicely, and I'll put it on the map without taking my hand off it.
As you put it to the map, the Ankh glows and resonates. As you basically use it as a scanner, for lack of a better term, you see that it glows mainly at 2 points. Let me pull up my map. It glows where the north is, in between High Forest, Ankrock, and Western Heartlands, but it also glows southeast of the Dalelands. And as it glows near southeast of the Dalelands, you see that the map lights up something different. When you glared it over in between like the High Forest, Ankrock, and Western Heartlands, it glowed this bright red. But as you approach down right of the Dalelands, you see that it switches back from green and purple as it glows, and it switches and alternates between those two colors as you pointed towards that area of the map.
So essentially, that's where the other two are. This is.
I think that's where Beatrice is.
Well, she's still alive, that is. She said she wasn't useful after whatever happened in the cave. And like last time I checked, she was abandoned. So she could be dead from her wounds for all I know. But whoever she was with would have the other two. Do we chase him down or do we go for the red one?
I think we go for the red one. Now, Soren, do you think we could destroy this scroll, or can we just hide it? Is that the best we can do?
Well, judging by you, that depends. I could give you this map, if you already don't have one. Otherwise, I can
I was
have.
gonna rob you. Oh, thank you.
Otherwise, I could just have our pirate. Yep, you have a map of the Forgotten Realms that is marked with the area that he circled, and then you can add whatever markings you wish.
I'm sorry. I meant the red skull, the orb.
Oh, work on that. Yeah,
destroy that, or
well, I'm not too sure. The thing about it is that there's not enough knowledge in this world, and quite frankly, I want some knowledge to be preserved, but I know that this kind of knowledge, if fallen into the wrong hands, can be quite dangerous depending on who it is. I'll try to keep it in a safe place, worst comes to worst. I could have Lyra outside just burn it, his specialty. But once you leave here, you must not discuss this with anyone else. Not even Sir Istafal or Sir Kenton know about this. No one must know about where everything is. I'm afraid that with this. Yeah,
Sorry,
go
I
ahead.
didn't realize
go
you were
ahead.
finished talking. I was just going to circle on the map the spot where the green and purple orbs were too.
Yep, you circle it as well. No problem. And he continues saying, I'm just afraid. I don't want to lose this knowledge, but I'm not afraid to destroy it. So I like none of what you spoke about. must not be impressive ears outside of this door. Do we make ourselves clear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I want your full word. I want you to swear that whatever you spoke out here was not be said. Otherwise, whatever remains of these realms will be no more.
I
I
swear.
swear on the festering hindsight of Nicodemus himself, we won't tell anyone.
You all glow like as that sworn has been said, as all of you say it, including Aneda herself. It's like this quick flash upon all of you.
I guess this is just a thing that happens now. We just start glowing.
Bellathor, you can make a religion check if you want. You're a cleric.
Might as well. Let's see what they did to us, shall we?
I am also a cleric.
You are a newly cleric, good sir. So
You
That is
are
18.
Narvis.
18. Yeah, this is pretty basic. When someone swears something, that means that the god of promises and also the god of contracts, you don't remember their names because they go by so many names nowadays, that they are keeping tabs. And either if the promise is fulfilled, hopefully nothing bad happens. But if it's broken, well, who knows what happens.
You share that with the party?
Indeed, I watched everyone glow, so I'm telling everyone, like, we are being tracked by two gods right now. Don't fuck up.
So if we do the thing, hopefully nothing bad happens?
Yeah, but if we don't do the thing, there's a guarantee something bad will happen. So.
So the gods can watch over promises, but can't undo this shit. Great, and I leave.
You leave, you walk out of the door.
I'm gonna ask
What
more
happens if
questions
you believe
before
in
I
those
accept
gods?
charges.
Sure.
I follow core.
right.
What are you talking about?
Alright. Axius leaves. What do the rest of you do?
Yeah, I'll leave. Oh, Soren, do you have like something I can make a necklace, to hold this thing?
Well, I think Fillmore might have some extra chain on him. Just go to him. He's the one that usually handles all the gear and such.
Alright, thanks.
Anyone else?
I'm filling out to get a library card.
Alright. Rico. Obviously this is time before you guys make your journey out. Would you guys like to do anything before you leave? Obviously Rico's gonna go to Fillmore for some train. But other than that, is there anything else you guys would like to get from here or like to do anything here before you guys continue on your journey to the west?
I
Do they have
was
any
going.
trail rations?
Say again?
Do they have any trail rations?
Trail rations or rations?
Rations, food. So we can travel.
They do. However, due to the fact that they're recently starting the farm, they could probably give you each one ration for one day, but that's basically it because they gotta look out for their people.
And we've already eaten for the day. Is that right?
Yeah, but tomorrow.
I'm gonna start sparring with the soldiers.
All right, start sparring with the soldiers.
Is that
So-
little goblin around?
He is. He's on watch.
Go up and violently shake the pole underneath to shimmy the.
He's gonna make an attack roll on you. As he-
Shit.
All right, let me just look up Shmi's character sheet.
A
Nate,
wise
if
person
you-
once said, "Don't go chasing goblin poles."
Nate, if you're watching this, you're welcome. All right. What's your armor class?
15.
He rolled a 14, so he just misses. It just misses. It just passes you. It makes you a scratch, like right on your cheek. He says, "Hey, don't shoot that! I'm trying to watch."
Pull out my tinder. A
Hey,
tinder
Can I,
box.
Cut
I try
that
to
out!
stop Ichabod from burning the village down?
Sure. How do you stop him?
It's only one goblin. Big whoop.
He's gonna make another attack roll against you. Oh, that's pretty high. Okay.
Am I even in any of this?
You want to try to do something? Because you see him getting ready, locking
Yeah,
aim and ready.
No. Hell.
I
The
want
way
to
that-
knock the tinderbox out of his hand.
I have one important question to ask. Does Ichabod say the goblin comment out loud, or was that out of character?
Think about
Oh,
it.
big whoop. Nah, that was
Okay.
out of character.
Out of character.
I'm still
Alright.
trying to light the tower on
Yeah.
fire.
You can see that, like, he's trying to light the watchtower on fire, and you don't know why he's doing it.
I'm gonna go drop kick him.
Okay. Make an attack roll, and you're running, so...
Can I try to
Drop
knock
kick
the tinderbox out of his hands first?
Sure, make a sleight of hand check. Because otherwise, I'm rolling a bunch of dice. So,
Oh god. Trying to save your life, Ichabod.
Oh, dang it.
11.
13.
Alright. Ichabod. Let's see here.
Right.
You're getting drop kicked. So the attack doesn't
Go back
hit.
this. Okay, good.
So the drop kick won't hit, but you see Rico's trying to pull the tinderbox out of your hands.
Oh, the drop kick hit me?
It hit you, but it didn't like knock you down. It didn't do as much damage as your armor
Oh,
protected you a bit.
Okay.
But Rico's
pull
trying to
it
take the
back.
tinderbox out of your hands.
I
What are you
pull this
doing?
box back up, and I'll just give something of offensive gesture to the goblin and walk away.
Okay. Alright. That is fine. You want me to
As
roll
they're
dice?
walking away,
ahead.
I'm like chewing Ichabod's ear out. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? What the
I'm gonna do the
Shut
opposite
it,
for the
you
goblin.
got
Just be
here.
like, the fuck, little dude?
He was shaking the pool! I was trying to keep watch! He's being a dick!
What was Ichabod say?
Yeah, that checks out.
He shot at us when we pulled up. I'm just giving him a hard time. If we ever come back this way, I'll buy him a drink.
Wouldn't you shoot if you were in his spot?
No. I'd at least call out and find out. Just not, bowstring happy.
Oh, yeah, and that's why I survived on my own.
You're lucky you guys pulled him away, because it would have done some major damage. Because he had all of his ranger abilities active at that point, so...
Just
All right.
saved your life.
Rico, you go up to Fillmore. You know that Fillmore, at this point, is basically in charge of keeping basic inventory equipment, along with basic goods, and he keeps track of all that stuff. Let me show you a picture of him. Click. Fillmore is a dwarf. So, let me show you what he looks like so I can give you a better description. You see that Fillmore is dirty, but unlike everyone else, he seems to be covered in more fancy stuff. You instantly think that he's a collective sort, as he has a nice shiny sword on his head. That's what he looks like, by the way. He has 3 braided beards, which at this point is not well kept, but he does have a lot of like fancy stuff on him. But you can tell just from the way he talks and the way that he acts, you could probably tell that he probably either take this off of something or he just crafted himself. As he says, "Hey, oh, hi, who are you? Haven't met you."
Fillmore, I take it.
Yes, I am Fillmore. What would
Well
you
met.
like? Would you want equipment?
I'd just like a simple chain for a necklace.
Okay, that's easy. He tosses you a simple chain to a necklace. Would you like any other adventuring gear?
What have you got?
Well, what do you want? I got plenty of stuff. I got rope. I got pittance. I got torches if you need torches. I also have other such things. Ooh, I even have this. And he pulls out a box. He unlocks it. He says, "I got these rings, but I don't trade these rings."
So you're just showing me the cool things that you have?
Yes. He closes
Cool.
the box immediately and locks it.
Cool story, bro.
And he takes that lockbox and then he puts it underneath the cabinet, and you hear another lock of some sorts. He says, "Okay, what kind of inventory gear do you want?
Some torches would be great.
How many?"
Maybe 3?
Okay. He gives you 3 torches.
Thank you.
Anything else? Like rope? Do you have rope? Everyone needs rope.
I can't carry a whole lot of stuff, so I'm okay with the rope.
You're as small as me, so that makes quite sense.
Oh, healing potions.
Do you have any healing potions?
Unfortunately, I do not. If our
Had to
druid,
ask.
if our druid was still alive, they could have probably made some, but he is no longer with us.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's fine. We move on.
Speaking of moving on, I gotta go.
Wait, before you go, let me ask you a favor. When I was, first off, which way are you going?
West.
West. He kind of like scratches his chin, messes around with it. He's like, yes. See, I had a home at West. Do you have a map or no?
I do. I don't know who has it.
Okay, so anyways,
It's not on me.
I have it.
on all the way west of Corbett, there is a small dwarf village. I forgot what the name is because I'm not there all the time anymore, as I used to, for obvious reasons. But in there is a fancy house, and in that fancy house, that is my house. Here, he gives you a key. He says, "That is the key to my front door. I want you to go in there and see if one of my collections is still intact. And if so, if you ever make it back, I want you to hand it back to me. Those things are precious. If you do so, I'll give you one of my cool rings."
What kind of collections are we talking about?
Well, I have many collections. I collect wood carvings. I collect certain rune stones. I also collect certain amount of rings, certain jewelry. I collect a lot of things. Before the bad times happened, I was a collector and a merchant. However, during the apocalypse, I had to drop some collections to lose some weight of my carriage, and I've lost them.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, since you're heading there, I was wondering if you could just check out the place to see if my wooden figurines are there. If they're there, they're in the box. Uses the same key I gave you. Open it up. See if it's there. If it's there, cool. I just asked that you bring it back. In exchange, I'll give you one of my cool rings.
Wooden figurines. I'll keep an eye out.
Thank you. He gives you like a big hearty hug, like, he gives you a hard hug. He kind of squeezes you to death a bit. He's like, "Oh, now go on there, adventurer," and he slaps you on the ass on your way out.
Don't do that.
Sorry.
I'll
Let's go to
pull out
Axios.
the cannon and kind of scratch my forehead as I walk away.
Axios, you're in training with the boys. Who would you like to spar with? Would you like to spar with a purple dragon knight? Would you like to spar with a basic guard, or somewhere in between?
No, who's the general that we heard so much about?
So, that would be Sir Kenton. You know that Sir Kenton is the second in command. You know that he is also a great swordsman. He has never lost a duel or a fight, not even in sparring,
That's
because
what I'm going for.
because he is one of the most highly faced purple dragon knights. Not as bad as Sir Istival, who is a true dragon knight, but he is the second best.
And that's who I'm sparring with.
Okay, that's who you're sparring with. Ichabod, would you like to do anything else before we begin this quick sparring contest, or no?
I got 1 gold on the horny guy.
Can I please have made it out in time to watch this fight?
Oh yeah, you definitely do so.
Yes.
I hold up 1 gold piece out of my pouch.
All right, you hold it off. He's like, you hear Crest says, "You know what? Yeah, let's start some bets just for some fun. And then you hear the bets going back and forth. There's a little bit more betting on the side of Sir Kenton over your friend Axius because, Sir Kenton never lost a duel.
I'm doing
Bellathor,
the rubbing on the shoulders. You know how good you'll be if you beat him. Everyone will know you wherever you go. We'll get free drinks everywhere. Like, get in there.
Bellathor, would you like to do anything before the fight?
I'm going to be watching the way that Sir Kenton and Axius fight, kind of judging how good they are comparatively to what I've been taught, and if there's anything I can do to improve my fighting style based on how they do.
Okay.
I'll put a gold on Axius too.
Okay. One moment, please. Grabbing the stat block. And I'm gonna change the music to combat.
Star Trek fighting theme.
Dun, 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 dun.
No, screw
Mortal
Final Fantasy
Kombat.
7 Final. Final Fantasy 7.
Axius, stab him in the baby maker.
Ah!
Yeah. Okay.
Or
I got this. I got the stat block. All right. Here we go. No
That's
change.
never good when you have to say a stat block. It's just
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Axius,
You decided to pick.
battle cry.
You decided to
Not the
pick.
face,
You
not the
decided to
face.
pick the toughest guy ever. First thing before we start, your intention is to not kill him, correct?
yes, of course not.
Just want to make sure.
I also want to ask him, like, are we using all abilities, or are we just keeping this hand to hand? I mean, weapons. No arcane, or are we just doing straight fighting?
He says, hold on, let me post a picture of what he looks like. So, one moment, please. You go up to Sir Kenton. He's wearing full plate armor, and you can tell that he has a single longsword and nothing more. You can see that he has long black hair. Oh, here he is. It's better if I just showed you. Kajam. Okay, so this is what he looks like. He has the purple dragonite crest built on his chest piece. You can see he only has a single longsword holding in one hand. Other than that, he has long black hair. He definitely looks like a second in command, if anything. And you see, like, sitting on the high stands, Sir Istival, which this is what he looks like. One moment as I pull up pictures. Here he is. Boom. Boom. This is what Sir Istival looks like. He's a little bit of an older man, but you can see his armor is like quite more regal in comparison to Sir Kenton. You can tell that he's seen a lot of battle, and he is watching this fight as he normally does for entertainment, of course. Oh wait, hold on. I put this in the Mistral chat. Man, that sucks. Well, the pictures are there, so you could look in the Mistral chat, and there they are. That's what they look like. So, my apologies. All right, play combat.
Oscar. Okay.
Initiative.
Is anybody officiating this fight?
Of course, I would roll a natural one. Of course I would. Of fucking course. Let's do this. I asked him a question about the powers and stuff. He didn't answer.
Natural 20. Plus 2, so 22. He says, "Well, I don't want you to go easy on me. As long as you're not killing me, we're gonna be fine. But be prepared. I believe you never faced a warrior quite of my stature.
That's the point.
Well,
All
then
right,
let's
I want a
begin,
nice, clean
shall we?"
fight.
And there's a duel about to
Go
prepare.
hits
So he
below
gets
the belt.
he gets to go first. He's gonna make 3 attacks against you. So first attack, he gets plus 6 to each of these rolls, by the way.
Of course he does.
14 doesn't hit.
Nope.
Second attack. That definitely doesn't hit. Third attack.
Nope.
Does a 15 hit?
Nope.
Nice. So, as the fight commences, he goes forward, and he does it quickly fast. He's very fast, and as he does, you just blocking, you just barely dodge out of the way. He's like, that was only the beginning, man. And he's gonna action surge and attack 3 more times. First attack. That's a nat 20. So,
I am going to use my Cloud Rune for that one.
2.
And direct that crit to his commander.
Oh boy. Okay, let me roll some damage. So, long swords are. I gotta look up. Let's see. Why is it not saying here? For some reason, it doesn't say it in the stat book. So
And then as I'm doing that, just for flavor, I was like, man, you're supposed to fight me, but you're gonna hit your own commander? Man, what shame.
So 13 plus a d8. 6. So that is a total of 19. So, you use your Cloud Rune. Explain. Now, your Cloud Rune is a tattoo, of course. That being said, describe to me how it would look like as he pierces you with his second attack.
As the tattoo on my right shoulder glows, my eyes also make this cloudy form. And I just say to him, like, what shame? And then the piercing that attacked me, his commander's eyes also show the same eyes as mine, and then you could see that he's visibly hurt by that attack, and not me.
Right. He says, what? You see, at this point, everyone sees the commander going, all of a sudden he's just randomly attacked. I want you to make a sleight of hand. I need you to make a sleight of hand check to see if anyone noticed.
It's like, I got advantage on those.
Yep, you do.
And it doesn't fucking help. That's a 4.
Oh my god! Had that 1 and a 2.
The dice
shit.
like hit each other. Holy fucking shit. This is my night.
Yeah. Everyone saw you directing it. Including Sir Kenny's like, what? What did you do? This was just supposed to be a simple battle. What is your means? At this point, he's going to use his maneuver ability to disarm your weapon. Now, I need you to make... Oh, memento. I need to tell you what ability check needs to be made. So, for fighting... So, I need to...
scoot over to Ichabod and just whisper, is everything ready to go? Are we all packed up?
Yeah, I think we better head to the wagon.
So first off, he's gonna burn a superiority dice. So he's gonna add a d12 to this,
Of course it is.
which is a 1, which is only 1 damage. I need you to make.
I take 1 damage.
Well, no, that's the extra damage you dealt to the commander
Got it.
because he's using his d8, and that damage is directly to him. But for you, I need you to make. Need you to make a dexterity. I need you to make a strength saving throw to see if you can hold up your halberd.
21.
Yep, you hold on to your halberd. You almost lose grip of your halberd, but you manage to hold on. He's like, at this point, he screams and he says, "You just hurt our commander! Why would you do such a thing?"
Is it my turn yet, or is he still attacking? Like,
That depends what you will say. He still has 1 good loaded attack.
I'm gonna bottom end of my halberd, spike it into the ground, and deeply take a bow towards the commander in an apologetic fashion.
Make a persuasion check. That the DC will be high because of what you just did. So
18.
18. We're gonna insight check. This I'll keep a secret. From the commander. Okay. He says to you, at this point he's fucking pissed. And he says, "Sir Ketan, be rid of this trash, and afterwards we must discuss about what to do with him afterwards." And he'll follow his general's command, and he will make a 3rd attack against you.
Go ahead.
It doesn't hit with a 3. So, you were prepared for another attack, and you just dodge out of the way. And he says, Let's see what you got then. It's your move.
First thing, I'm gonna look at the commander and say, you know, I heard so much about you out in day, and you're quick to anger is not what I expected. And I'm gonna use my bonus action. I'm going to an rage,
All right,
and
go into a rage.
I'm gonna look at my opponent. I'm gonna wink, and I'm gonna take my action to dodge.
Okay, you take your action to dodge. Alrighty. He will run up to you. He will. Let's see here. Just double checking his stuff. Uh-huh. Okay. So, he will. Sorry, I'm just reading this real quick. Alright. He will run towards you and will attack you 3 times. He'll attack you with disadvantage. So I'm gonna roll 1 dice at a time. Well, second one. Yeah. The first one doesn't hit. Second attack. Oh, that's a high one. Let's see if it's any worse. Same result. So that plus 6, that will hit.
Okay.
You will take math is hard. You take 12 points of damage. He will also is going to use a D12 to use one of his maneuvers. So you'll take a net additional D12 worth of damage. First, you take 4 additional damage, but you take half of that because you're raging. And he will do. He'll try to goad you. So he says to you, he stabs you right in the chest. He says, you know, for someone who seems to be prepared for a fight, you're not quite as good as what I've heard. Make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, you piece of shit.
He's a smart enemy. So
12.
you fail. You have disadvantage on all attack rolls against him. Third attack with disadvantage. That's a 3. I don't think I'm gonna get any lower than 3. Yeah. So afterwards, you dodge and you're pissed. It's your move. You have disadvantage on your attacks.
I'm going to use my bonus action to turn into a giant.
Okay. All of a sudden, oh my god, the music fits us too. You grow 10 feet tall. All of a sudden, you're a hulking giant. And everyone's like, holy shit! And there's like a lot of crowd cheering. Half of the crowd is afraid of you, half the crowd isn't, as you turn into a giant. What would you like to do, kind sir?
Grapple him.
Alright. He will make a dexterity check, you will make a strength check.
With advantage. That is a 17.
17. Let me just double check his maneuvers, because I think he can legit do something. Alright. 13 plus 4. 17. It's tied. We re-roll. Wait, what? Wait, what you rolling a check? I'm sorry. 17, right? Yep. It's a tie, so we re-roll.
The suspense is killing me. That's a 30-20.
Oh, you just beat him. So, wait, hold on. What is your stat modifier?
You said it's just strength check.
He's
I rolled
making
a
a
19.
dex check.
I
He's
rolled a
making-
19 plus 1. Is it 30-20?
30, 20. Okay. So he's making dex because he's dodging out of the way. Two stats. One moment. This thing's not loading properly, and I don't know why. Okay. So, unfortunately, He dodges it because he has
So you
plus
rolled
4.
a second. Okay, that's cool.
I rolled a 19 and he has plus 4 to dex. So
That's
he dodges out of the way of your grapple attempt. We'll say that'll take your bonus. Actually, no, that'll take up your action actually because you got big. So you try to grab him. He dodges out of the way as he barrel rolls.
my turn. What are we gonna do?
He will climb up to you, and as he climbs up to you, he will jump and he will try to slash at you. Attack roll against you. First attack. That will definitely hit. You'll be taking 13 points, slashing half because you're a barbarian, because you're raging. He's gonna add a superiority dice to this, maxing it out 12, half 6, and he will use. One moment. Reading through all these maneuvers is complicated. Okay. So, he will use menacing attack. He says, "Take this, you tiefling!" Ah! And he stabs you right into like the collarbone area. I need you to make another wisdom saving throw, or else you are frightened.
Oh wait, you said frightened? 1 second.
Yep. You might actually have something. So just double check your stuff.
Sounds too familiar. Oh, I gotta read through so many things. Holy shit! I know, frightened. No, my rage. My rage can mean. Wait. Let's see. Yep.
So you take the shot at the collarbone. It's where it's tries to pierce through you, but you're so angry about it that you're not upset by it. Second attack. It will hit. You take another 13 half. He will. Let's see. Nope, he can only add superior die once. So, all right, you take that damage. Third attack. That's a natural 20. So you're going to be taking max damage, but see how long you last. Add a D8.
Wait, if he's raging, wouldn't that be half damage?
Yeah, he's taking half damage on all this, so 7. Would have been 21, but you're taking half.
So that's
10.
Thank you.
Yep. You slash. He is a legit great fighter. He seems like you've either met your equal or you're better. And he'll leap off from it. Let me make a. Nope, that's not the one I want to make. I need to make a con save for him. Yeah, he fails. So he'll take a d10 worth of damage. Because you're 10 feet tall. He'll take 6 damage. Alright, it's your turn, man. How are you looking?
Perfect. I am going to do my second win as a bonus action.
Sure.
I want to keep this fight going. I have so much to learn. This is so great for me. I am getting back 7.
Okay.
And I haven't attacked him at all yet, so I'm going to take my dodge action. And I'm going to just wink at him again.
Alright. He will attack you with disadvantage.
Just imagine Muhammad Ali, like, rope-a-doping.
14 will not hit you.
Nope.
That will, though. You take 13. He's also going to spend another superiority die, so additional d12 on top of that. So you're taking half of each. Additional 6 plus 3. He's going to do trip attack. So I need you to make a strength saving throw, or else you are knocked prone. Is that 18? Oh, that is with disadvantage. My apologies.
Wow. Got my points
So
back.
it doesn't hit him for the second one.
Put my points back.
Yep.
All right.
So he doesn't hit you for the second one. 14. See if it rolls any higher or less. 15. So. Yeah, so that'll beat your AC. So you will take up that damage, and I need you to make a strength save. Because I'm not doing damage, I forget. So
Okay.
just make the strength. So make the strength save. You have advantage on this, though. See if he trips you.
Why the low rolls? 9.
You are prone. He will. Yeah, he already used his action surge. So yeah, it's your turn. You are prone.
I'm gonna use half my movement.
He's
to get
gonna
out.
back away He's gonna back away, by the way. He's gonna back away 30 feet. So go ahead and make your move.
I'm going to use half my speed to stand up.
Yep.
I am going to use my action to disengage. I'm going to bow to him and to the commander one more time, and if he wants to attack me while I'm bowed, he can go right ahead.
Okay. He says to you, "Do you surrender, Axius?"
I've gotten what I've come here for, and I thank you both for showing your mettle.
Right? He sheaths his sword, and Sir Istumal says, "The winner is Sir Kenton." And the crowd cheers. Ichabod, you lost some money.
Oh, I'm already on the bugboard. We're riding away. I dropped the gold piece on the ground as soon as the fight started and backed up, grabbing the two little ones and ushering the girl away.
After all that
And then I
commotion,
picked up that
very
gold
reasonable.
and walked away.
Fair enough.
No,
All right.
I'll drop gold too.
Okay. All right. So all of you walk away. Axius, with some newfound knowledge, you have gained some experience of sort. So you gain, since facing a combatant of a higher stature in living, you gain a level in fighter.
Nice.
All right. You guys pack your things. You guys may continue.
Before I go, I do want to
Yes.
prostrate myself in front of the commander and apologize for the attack I diverted to him.
He's a little angered.
It's completely my fault. I had heard tales of your resilience, and I needed to see that so we could survive out here. I needed to see both of your resiliences firsthand. I apologize.
Make a persuasion check.
With advantage?
Yeah, you have your rune active, so yeah.
No, my rune is for deception, not persuasion. I don't have
Persuasion?
them.
No. You have to, convince them.
Fucking shit, that's a 5.
He says, "Well, next time, in a friendly sport, do not harm others other than the combatants." Sir Kenton's give me a look "Really, sir?" But he's like, "Next time, focus on the person attacking you, not the bystander."
I didn't hit him as penance for attacking you, sir. For the record.
He says, "Just leave," and he walks away.
And I leave.
Alright, you leave. You guys pack your things, and you continue your journey to the west. Now with some clear goals, some clear ambitions, some personal goals for yourself. But we'll see what happens along the journey next week. So until then, guys, we'll see you next week, where we see where the journey to the west leads us. Till then, next time. See you guys later.